You're asking me. Desert is not quite the right word, I think, for the area around. It's rocky hillside, barren hillside. Down maybe in the Negev desert towards Egypt, it's desert. I think it probably always was pretty desert-like. There may have been a bit more rainfall because along the Dead Sea we see the waterline of the Dead Sea was much higher up. But the Dead Sea has been drained for fertilizer removal and stuff like that into pools and everything, in evaporation pools. So they've been destroying the water in the Dead Sea. You know, the Sea of Galilee flows down the Jordan River into the Dead Sea, and a few other tributaries along the Dead Sea flow into it. That's its only water reception mechanism, and if you're taking water out of there for irrigation and things like that before it gets down, you're cutting off the amount of water going down to the Dead Sea. So we can see that there were settlement further up the Dead Sea, you know, maybe 100 yards further more, and the Dead Sea is drying up. But so there was indication of substantial activity along there in classical times. I think we found most of the sites. They pretty much agree with what's around today in terms of their locations and things like that. So I don't think the land looked that much different, so I can't answer your question. Compared to a desert, which is a real desert, like the Syrian desert or the Jordanian desert or the Saudi or Arabian desert or Sinai, this may have looked like milk and honey.
Well, I'm not sure it had so much to do just with the fact that it's desert or not, but you're dealing with Jews that at that time, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a theocracy, but if you look just at the range of the, you know, that people that believe in God and the land, it becomes very important, and you've got at least 1,000 years historically at this point, perhaps more, of God tied up with the land and the religion. So whether it's desert or lush green or has oil, which it didn't, unfortunately, for the Jews, it's, you know, it takes on a meaning. That's why they were probably so damn mean.
Well, anyway, both your insights are probably interesting to consider, and let the others consider it, but I do think that the land was comparatively desirable as opposed to the real Bedouin inhabited areas round about. So I think that you have villages even today all along what's called the West Bank, which used to be the classical area of the Judean highlands and the Sumerian Israelite highlands. You have little villages that could eke out crop existence fairly effectively. And then, of course, down along the seacoast, where you have the present population density areas, from Gaza up to Tel Aviv, up to Caesarea, up to Haifa, that's all a lush plain, usually called the Plain of Sharon. And it goes all the way to the what's called the Shfilah, the foothills. But Jerusalem is up in the top of I guess I put my map on the board here. Jerusalem is up on the top of an area. So if you, now this goes to Sinai, right? That's pretty desert, except for the northern part would be not so bad, but the rest is pretty, it's really desert. This would be Negev here, and that's pretty rocky, deserted area. I mean, you know, desert-like area. This over here is what is Jordan today, but over in those days it was Moab, Ammon. Today the capital of Jordan, as I told you, is Amman, so it's still there. I noticed they shot some tourists up near Amman the other day. Retribution for Zarqawi, one of the people from his town, wanted to kill some Westerners when they were looking at the ruins up by Amman from the Roman and earlier period. He shot 6 people and killed 1. In any case, down this way was what was called Idumea, the Edomites. I guess you could put an A in there, I'm not sure. Edomites. Idumea is the Latin, Roman, Greek term for the biblical Edomites. Okay? And they kind of extended over into here. So when Jesus is walking around in the Galilee, which is up here, if he did walk around in Galilee, and that's not just symbolic, when Jesus is walking around in Galilee, he also goes over to the Decapolis. That's a Roman name. Deca means 10. Holy is cities, 10 cities. And those are Hellenistic cities that dot the area along in here. I don't know the names of all of them, but one of them is Jerash, and one would have been Amman, and one would have been Pella, and I forget all the names of the other ones. These are Hellenized Syrian Greco-Roman cities on this side of the Sea of Galilee and what we today call the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights is here. That's what they're all arguing about, leading to Damascus here. And this is, I don't know if you follow the political events here, but this is where all the trouble was happening with the last war we witnessed. And they have some place called Taba Farms. It's not a classical place, but the reason they want Taba Farms back is because it's a high area here dominating the valleys. So if they don't want the Israelis to keep that, and the Israelis would be crazy to give it up. But, you know, these are the kind of voices. They give us back Taba Farms, give us back Taba Farms. Yeah, so they can shoot up people. Yeah, if they're going to be peaceful about it, I don't think there'd be a problem giving anything to anybody. But, so that's an area there up on the edge of the Golan Heights, overlooking Lebanon and Syria and so on. And settlements here, which is a ridge area. So now down here is a rift. And then you have the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee on this rift, and it goes all the way up to here. And this is, so Jerusalem is on a mountain top here, not a mountain, but a ridge line here. There's a break here called the Emek, means valley. I think in classical times it's the Jezreel Valley. Other times, one of the cities in that valley was called Megiddo. So the word Armageddon comes from this valley, because there was a settlement in this valley called Armageddon, called Megiddo, which was where David, if you read the Bible, keeps his stables. So in fact, that whole area here was related to the Armageddon or Armageddon, whatever you want to call Armageddon. I don't even know how to spell it, but I guess it's something like that. And that's from the word Megiddo here, see? In any case, that was where the classical armies from Syria came through that valley.